Okay, so just a quick, I guess recap. We're in Kingfisher Sprint 4, which starts today and will go till the 31st of May, which is when we're expected to release the next version of Kingfisher. And then we have a quick chat about the release in a second. So what we'll do is we're actually going to do.
That's the day after Memorial Day.
5/31 is the day after Memorial Day. It's Wednesday, but we are planning.
Wednesday, okay.
Yes, it's Wednesday. But well, I think we're pretty much ready. So whenever we're ready, we'll just release.
Yep.
The other thing is we're actually looking at a release planning session for the L release probably on 5/30, so that's Tuesday instead. So what I'll probably do is instead of doing a sprint review, we'll fold it into the release demo and sprint planning. What I want to do is a slight change, and this may have been what folks were doing before. But what we'll do is the template we're going to fill out is going to be a summary of what each group or each scrum delivered for the release and the plans for the next release. And so we'll do a recap summary of everything that was done at a high level. This could aid in, these notes. And then the second part of it is going to be what folks are planning to do for the next release. So I'll get that sent out at some point soon.
We can do a release planning meeting where people can, talk about the sorts of things that they would sort of like to do and actually have some discussion.
I think in general, the forum has lent itself more to the community providing feedback on what they're looking at doing, right? So I think it's the kind of the platform team discussing what the plans are, the various brigades discussing what the plans are. I guess the forum itself hasn't lent itself to much of a discussion.
What do you think? I'd like to see more of that. I think it'd be really valuable to sort of get people on the same page, and also, instead of sort of like presentation format where people just tell you things, like have some sort of like, like kind of discussion and kind of sharing of ideas. This doesn't seem to happen in some actual planning, which never seems to happen in the planning.
I think there's value in that, and I think we're looking at possibly the week before having more of that discussion as a preparation for the actual kind of planning session where more of the community is there to present what they're doing. I think the gotcha is, right, we're trying to open up to a larger audience in that session, and so in order to kind of get through it, it's been more of the other format. So.
Yeah, that would be good to see. Hopefully that can happen a previous week.
Yep. Okay, so this is where we're at. And before I go into the sprint planning and go through Jira, I'd like to better understand if we need to do another RC.
Yes. Guaranteed we have to do an RC. Because there was a change put in for copycat atomics somewhere. One of those guys.
So you're going to cherry pick the changes back to 1.8?
I sure hope not. I don't feel like smoking 2 hours on a 1.8 build, but we can if we have to.
I think that's what's being requested, is that we do a 1.8.7.
Okay. I can do that after the meeting.
Okay. So let's do 1.8.7. I'll have Andy do another RC on the cord side, and then we'll integrate the latest HA fixes.
Ray, can I ask? So, would you like, obviously, something like the meeting, can we accelerate this process?
No. Yeah. It's accelerated in 1.9 and 1.10, but 1.8 has a pokey build we optimized it, it's dangerous to backport the
So
fixes.
it's already done, then.
Yeah, basically.
So we're trying to get to 110 because our requirement is we only have this for the last 2 releases.
Yeah,
And so 1.8 falls right off
sure.
once we get 110 out. And so Ray is motivated to get 110. Yes, we have seen evidence of what that does.
I'll just delete the doc that shows how to build 1.8. Sorry, I don't remember.
Okay, so let's move on to Jira. So, let's start with the, so sprint 4 is the hardening sprint, which means on the support branch, all we want are the fixes that we've identified as what we want in this release. All other features need to stay on master and should stay on there so as not to destabilize the release. So let's go over the bug sprints. We have a couple bugs that are must fixes for this release, so we'll hold up the release until we get those fixes. Jordan, it's all you, so. Are you going over who's going over the bug sprint? Is that you or Sean?
I can go through the two that is blocking the performance related. 2 tickets, which 6380 is 10 performance regression, and the next 4693, which is flow regression. The intent regression is new one from last week or 2 weeks ago, but the flow throughput is from like 1 year ago. So these two up, we need to address them before the release. And I just filed another bug this morning, which is 6462, and this assigned to E is related to the not-found intent compiler, and E already has a fix for that. So hopefully I'll just verify it and close it.
So from a prioritization standpoint, we're saying these two, right? One is a must fix for the issue. The other one is a analysis that we need for the performance white paper.
Yes. Yeah, the first one is a must fix. Second is we need explanation.
And then we consider these blockers for the Kingfisher release. So.
Yeah. So blocker, right? So I think the 64, the new one, 64, 62 is also blocker. Is just yeah, some functionality is broken.
Okay, so the top 3 needs to be done before we can have a final RC.
Yeah. I don't know, John, do you have other?
Yeah, so the next one, 6401, is already fixed, just waiting to be merged into the master branches. Jordan probably has more insight in the 6422, but I'll just reopen and completely fix it.
Yeah, 6422 is should probably be fixed in the next couple of days. I have a patch in for it and it's being reviewed.
And then 5896, I think Jordan's still looking into that.
Okay, so let's monitor where we're at, right? So for sure, we'll be able to release with the first 3 done. So let's monitor how close the other ones are, and then we'll see if we wait on them.
Okay. And then the last 2, we have a couple of tests that are failing. We just need to investigate why. I think the B-class is due to the test refactoring, or the application refactoring. So I don't know if it's behavior changed or like CLIs or what. So it'll probably be more of a
Okay, done? And then platform?
So this ticket is just everything that was left for the performance lifecycle. So there are some items which cannot be done until we get the latest, all the fixes and the latest results.
Okay, and I think the good thing is the performance white paper can be based on Kingfisher, but doesn't have to release by the Kingfisher releases. So.
Yeah.
So one thing to add, I don't know if it would be here or if it's in the date, but we want to get a couple of fixes into the Yang tools, spin the release version to 2.0, and go back to ONOS, spin the version it uses to 2.0, and then that'll be the RC, whatever follows for 1.10.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Gorov to okay those two changes.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a support branch, so master should be good for new things. GUI? Simon?
Yeah, so we've got just a couple of bug fixes that we want to get in for this release, and then all the other non-bug items are documentation.
Okay. Can you throw those into the bug sprint? They track the ones we actually care about.
Sure, we can do that.
Okay. Virtualization?
Okay, this is the result. We'll update that with status. So we should find the first screen. Refresh the screen.
Oh.
Okay, so in this sprint, we will, first of all, we will scrub out the legacy virtual intent framework, which one is not intended, designed for our virtual network design principles. So we are on the page on the design intended framework for virtual network. So I'm working on parts of the intended framework. So first, to do that, before to do that, we will scrap out the entire legacy code for intent, virtual intent, and then we will build the new one. And also we will provide some skeleton code for virtual gateway, and also, that is the purpose of this sprint. We will focus on virtual gateway and intent framework. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Web agents is essentially done except for the REST API?
So that one is on the Gary with the commit. So almost the APIs are committed and implemented, but it has some minor fixes. It needs minor fixes from the other members' comments. So I heard that the assignee now trying to revise the comments, and so now we fix it.
Okay.
But hopefully the OpenFlow agent is actually, that part is covered by Hanson, SKT guy, Hanson Moon. But she is not working. She don't have enough time to focus on that. So we are trying to move the OS agent task to other members, the clouding. So she is now studying about how it works, and she will, maybe from next sprint, she will join to implement the remaining part of OpenFlow agent.
Okay, so the OS agent would be considered part of L release then?
Yeah, so actually it's a little bit delayed compared to our original plan. So actually we have to deliver the external connectivity and OpenFlow agent in this Kingfisher release, but it's a little bit delayed, but we hope in the middle of the sprint of next release, cutoff is going to finish it.
Okay. Dynamic config? far? Okay, it looks like a dynamic config service and adding dynamic config update support for this sprint. Thomas, you mentioned there were some outstanding. Is there anything else in terms of new work we're expecting?
No, I don't believe so. Right now, like I said, the focus is on the young tools and on the REST conf adapter northbound, so to make sure that it's divorced from YMS. And so I think there's a couple of fixes there, and actually one of them is a fix and one of them is an enhancement. That's all.
So those we're targeting for Kingfisher.
Yes.
Okay. No Luca, no deployment. And then packet obstacle.
Yeah. So we actually went through the backlog and found a lot of bug reports. A couple of them are quite old, so I'm not expecting that. And we started trying to see not there anymore. But especially the first two, fixing that.
So the first two bugs, are you trying to target those for Kingfisher?
Yes.
Okay. Can you move the bugs that you're planning for Kingfisher into the bug sprint?
Oh, this is not the bug? Okay. I thought it was something.
No. Well, we have a separate sprint for bugs. It's going to be a way for us to track the bugs that we're trying to target for Kingfisher. It'll keep it simpler, I think, so we'll see where things are at. But keep in mind, unless we consider a blocker, we will not hold up the release for.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll just monitor.
It's my personal condition.
Yes. So we'll monitor. We do have a daily stand-up, so if folks are interested in, joining the discussion, it allows us to kind of track where things are at with the release. Well, just send Andrea, he just goes there after dinner and it's social time with the team. Okay, and then so Houston has a bunch of OpenStack support. They're focused on OBS NAT. There's a bunch of bugs. I'll have to follow with her and see if they're targeting that for Kingfisher or not. Northbound?
Okay, so we have 3 bugs to fix. First is currently there's errors from OPTP or for objective system, and we need to handle the errors more carefully about it. And also the second is was merged, right? Yeah. The objective tracker service is not open API, so I moved to another package to make it open, so other application can use that. And third is some floating objective generated by intent compiler is not correct, so I'm planning to fix it. Yeah, I think that's it.
So this is in Kingfisher. The other two.
The second race is in Kingfisher.
It's in now. 6446. I merged it right before I did the trees.
Okay.
And then the other two are also.
I haven't started.
Okay. We should label them as bugs because they're bugs.
You mean?
The middle one is a bug.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll check it.
Okay. Okay. And then I'll move that to bug sprint. The other ones I don't think are likely. gRPC?
Yeah, so this is kind of the situation we found ourselves in last week as well, is we're being, we're blocked by our inability to generate basically an artifact that includes our work because it's only buildable with Maven. But of course, the Maven build is no longer attached to things like OK Clean, the basic scripts we use for setting up and testing. So we can unit test, but we can't do any sort of integration testing, and I don't feel comfortable merging. So basically, of these, almost all of the services are pending in review state, but I don't feel comfortable merging them until I can do some degree of integration testing. And so,
Your block.
yeah. On Buck build for this. So basically, that's what I assigned myself. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great. Got it.
That's the blocker on top.
That's one on top. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been trying to help from Brian, but I guess it's not a priority item, and obviously he's a busy guy.
So Brian is on PTO through next week. So Bill, Aaron is blocked. Would Brian be able to help Aaron when he gets back as a priority?
I mean, well, why can't you? I mean, it's not rocket science. You can fix it yourself, right?
Well, that's what I'm working on. I'm trying to spin myself up on Buck in the meantime, but it basically means that the rest of the group has to wait for me to spin up.
Yeah, because we're essentially shuffling folks that are working on it to other areas so that they're actually working on something.
I'm not sure what the problem is, but I did kind of similar process to enable generation of thread sources with Buck, and can probably give you some insights. Yeah. Yes, it's not the same, but it's similar. Yeah.
Okay, that would be great.
So
it seems like the people who are doing the gRPC development can just use the Maven build chain until the Buck build is
so they can generate the correct artifact. They can go through and build it. The problem is the only way I've been able to run for my own testing is to basically go back a few versions and sort of grab one of the older scripts and tinker with it until I can get, so basically OK Clean from when OK Clean actually ran the artifact generated by Maven or some such.
But,
and it's doable. It's not easy for.
So, Aaron, I thought that you were able to at least build it on a Mac, and the reason we couldn't integrate the protobuf stuff into, I couldn't check it in because we didn't have a platform-independent basic code. But you should be able to proceed, right? This is not something that needs to be part of Kingfisher, is it?
No, but including the patch that fixes that breaks the Maven
build. So I mean, my suggestion would be it's not hooked to the build, but you should still be able to merge it and change and check it in so that you can share it with the rest of the gRPC brigade and keep the code basically mergeable and not too far behind. You just cannot hook it into the overall build until we've had time to make the protobuf stuff buildable via Buck in a platform-independent manner.
Okay.
So that's what I would be doing.
All right. So for those, okay, so I have some Mac users, some Linux users, so I can send it out and I can unblock part of it.
Yeah, you should be able to come up with a set of instructions effectively for either Mac users or Linux users to be able to get the stuff building using Buck, right? Because you can build the stuff on your own even if it's not attached to the overall build.
Okay, so if I leave that, sort of as long as I leave it sort of not hooked in, I'm okay to merge it.
Just don't hook it in, and then you can keep checking it in and sharing the work with the rest of the brigade.
So
I'll still be able to do integration testing that way.
Develop on it. Okay.
Meanwhile, it sounds like you're working on Buck and we can work with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Bill build and package infrastructure. And then P4 Carmela.
Yes, can you refresh the page?
Okay, last minute.
So we started the P4 Brigade last week, and this is the first sprint where we officially start working on that. We're still in early, say, planning phase. That's why the first story is to actually hold the kickoff meeting. I'll probably wait a few more days for other members to join. Say 1 week, and then we can hold the meeting to start organizing work. Then later this afternoon, will be a discussion about some design choices, mostly on the southbound. And based on the outcome of that discussion, I'll sketch the core interfaces and classes. Interfaces and classes that will go in the core, and there'll be, and then Andrea, I don't understand Andrea's making, trying to tell me something. And they will be used to actually, they will be used by the rest of the brigade to do the work. So once we define that, we can parallelize work. And then I plan on sketching also the gRPC transport controller interface with the help of Andrea. Yes, and
I actually have a story in there that that was what I was pointing out. I have the general, if you refresh. I have the general device provider implementation to support both the P4 runtime and GNMI, and also to be to provide a base for future development that does not include. That does not include writing our provider per protocol, but you could use drivers for your own device.
Yeah. So the two stories I mentioned, the one about interfaces, there's mostly about sketching interfaces, no implementation, just to provide everyone means to parallelize work. And the last one, the work it's done. So I brought the bug file to enable build of DMV2 stuff. And before merging that, I would like to discuss about with Ray, either Ray or Brian, just to, because I'm doing pretty nasty stuff to make it work. So I want to make sure I'm not introducing anything nasty in the build. But the work on that is done, so it's just a matter of reviewing and merging.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have added a 1.11 versioning, so for stories that are intended for 1.11, use that as the affected version. That is it, unless we're missing anything. Okay, I think we're done. Thanks, everyone.